Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com. Facebook fact-checkers censored critically important information about Biden family corruption in the Ukraine. This put the United States in a very dangerous position and likely altered the outcome of the election. Nearly 4 out of 5 Americans who've been following the Hunter Biden laptop scandal believe that truthful coverage would have changed the outcome of the 2020 presidential election, according to a new poll. Facebook has severely corrupted American politics, and they're also corrupting climate science. A few days ago, Ronnie Bell Sylvester posted this photograph from 2019 of a couple of her friends. That's me on the left, and on the right is Dr. Richard Keene from the University of Colorado, who sadly passed away shortly after that photo was taken. Facebook contaminated Ronnie Bell Sylvester's post with this propaganda at the bottom. They put a link in under the title, Explore Climate Science Info. If you click on the link, this is what pops up. They are parroting the usual propaganda that bad weather is caused by people using low-cost, reliable energy. And they say that this superstition is widely agreed upon in the scientific community. There's no truth to what they're saying. Just in the last few weeks, 1,100 scientists from around the world released the World Climate Declaration. They were led by a Nobel laureate in physics, and they said there is no climate emergency. Similarly, more than 31,000 American scientists, including more than 9,000 PhDs, signed the Global Warming Petition Project. 2 of the signees were among the most prominent physicists in the world. One was Edward Teller, and the other was Freeman Dyson. The New York Times once described Freeman Dyson as being infinitely smart, and Edward Teller was the father of the American hydrogen bomb. When PBS reported on the petition project, they blurred out Edward Teller's signature because they didn't want people to see that. PBS prefers for their audience to get their information from high school students rather than the world's top physicists. The first claim from Facebook fact-checkers is complete nonsense. In fact, it's almost impossible to find a serious scientist who actually believes this scam. The press interviews the same few academic climate fraudsters like Michael Mann over and over again. These academic climate scamsters refuse to debate people like me because they wouldn't fare very well if they did. Then Facebook went on to say, the cost of renewable energy is dropping rapidly. But once again, Facebook fact-checkers are not telling the truth. A few weeks ago, the Wall Street Journal reported that wind and solar prices were soaring in the United States. Then they said the severity of recent droughts and wildfires is caused by the burning of fossil fuels. The press and social media have conditioned the public to believe that climate change means the burning of fossil fuels. There's no indication that droughts have become longer or more severe in the United States. In fact, the worst droughts occurred in the 1950s and the 1930s. Recent droughts haven't been as bad. Similarly, burn acreage in the United States is down 80% since the 1930s. We shouldn't be surprised that burn acreage was so high during the 1930s, because according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, summers during the 1930s had many more hot days than they do now. In 1936, the United States averaged 36 days per year over 95 degrees Fahrenheit, but last year that was down to 14 days. These claims from Facebook are numerically inverted from reality. And their science is also inverted, as I'm about to show you. They say that the cause of climate change is the burning of fossil fuels. What they're saying, though, makes no sense. In 1975, the National Academy of Sciences said, the climates of the Earth have always been changing, and they will doubtless continue to do so in the future. You can't explain billions of years of climate change on the burning of fossil fuels. 20,000 years ago, Chicago, New York, and Greta Thunberg's hometown were underneath a mile of ice. Most of this ice melted between 12,000 years ago and 8,000 years ago. Around the time Stonehenge was built, Earth was much warmer. There was much less ice in the Arctic, and it may have been periodically ice-free. July temperatures along the northern coastline of Russia may have been 2.5 to 7 degrees Celsius warmer than now. And trees grew all the way to the edge of the Arctic Ocean in Canada, where the tree line is now 80 to 100 kilometers further south. Atmospheric carbon dioxide levels were much lower at that time, so once again the Facebook story falls apart. It is 100% clear from historical evidence that the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere does not control the climate. Facebook is corrupting elections, they're corrupting climate science, and at the same time they're destroying free speech. Frederick Douglass said, "To suppress free speech is a double wrong. It violates the rights of the hearer as well as those of the speaker. It is just as criminal to rob a man of his right to speak and hear as it would be to rob him of his money." Toto has spent the last 14 years exposing these criminals in the press, social media, academia, and government. You can visit Toto Kyrie Caesar, Toki and Upala on the web at realclimatescience.com.